and welcome back to my garden, and welcome to August. And it's so far been a lovely start to the month as we go into episode 21 of A Year Gardening, following my journey through the garden in the year of 2020. Today I'm going to be starting by doing a little bit of pruning to the neighbour's tree here, which is just overhanging the garden a little bit, and I've had a word with my neighbour and he's more than happy for me to make some reductions to the lower branches which are leaning over the courtyard garden here, and so I'll show you how I'm going to be doing that as we progress. I've also finished constructing the bridge to go over the stream, and I'll be installing that today as well, along with a few other little jobs, and I hope you're going to enjoy joining me as we do these little bits of work. Now, I haven't completed the stream because unfortunately about a week or so ago I injured my left hand, and it's really restricted the amount of work that I can do. However, it's getting better and now I can crack on. So I'm going to start by showing you how I'm going to just reduce some of the branches on this tree. Okay, here we are at the tree. Now the main objective is to remove this rather large side branch, but there are a lot of other branches coming off of it. So what I need to do is I need to just lighten it by removing some of the smaller branches first. To do that I have my pruning saw. Just going to lock that, and I'm going to now just take out a little bit here. And there's one little piece. We will also carry on and take a few more of the smaller branches off before we attach the larger branch. Well, that's generated a lot more light for this area. Cleared that out nicely, and we're going to have a lot more light and less bits and pieces falling onto the clothesline and things. I've now got to get my wood chipper and chip all of the cuttings down to make good use of them in the garden. Let's crack on with that then. Well, I'm just finishing off the bridge here. One of the pieces of wood that I've got has got a split over a knot in the wood. So all I'm doing is I put a brace in underneath with some wood glue, and I'm just fixing the brace in at the moment. So we'll just pop this in here. give it the strength to support people when we're walking over it. That's the most important thing. And so I'm just putting 4 screws in. I've also applied some wood glue, and the wood glue is going to just secure that joint across the middle, make it better for when people are walking across. We don't want people to fall in, do we? So there's the brace underneath. Now I've also applied some wood glue to the broken slat. So we're going to pop this one in here, this one in here, and then join them together in the middle. And press it down, which is going to bring the adhesive through, which will just make it all nice. And so we bring that through there. Make sure it's level at the sides, and then I'm just going to pop the screws back in on the side here. And then we're going to have one complete bridge. Which is going to be lovely over the garden. Can't wait to show you this when it's in place. So there we go. We're going to let the heat just dry that up a little bit. Lovely jubbly. Well, this is the section of the garden where the bridge is going. You can see that I've built fairly substantial support for it, and I think I've measured it out perfectly. So just going to put that in place now. Okay, well, I'm going to pick up the bridge and see if it does go in place. We've only got one chance really, otherwise I've got to dig the whole lot out again, and I don't really want to do that. So we'll pop this in here. That's where I've levelled it for, and well, I think that's pretty good. Yes, it's level, it's balanced, and it's not moving when I'm standing on it. So I'm really happy with this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just wait till some of this sand and cement that I've put in here has gone off. Then we're going to run some flow through it, because I put in another step at the bottom here just to put another little feature on the stream. But we'll come to that next time. Well, one of the key areas of this section now of the bank is the planting. I've been planting out some lavenders and some different grasses to fill out along the bank, and I'm going to be putting another one in here. I've laid out the head here so that I know exactly the positioning of things, and then I'm going to be just finishing off the planting around here. So I've just got another grass which I'm transplanting from another area. I'm just going to prepare a small hole here, and the great thing with the grasses is they will just blend in, give it a little bit more character. Just get this open up a little bit here, and I want to make the ground really nice and loose around where the roots are going to give this plant plenty of chance. Just check the size on that there. We're going to have to just make that hole just a tad bigger than that. I'm hoping the overall effect of this will be very, very pleasant. Just giving us a nice edge. Got some bits of grass here which we'll get rid of. clear that through, pop that over onto the waste pile there. And this should just pop in, we'll knock a little bit of this soil off of here, around the top. And that will go in there nicely. Feed the soil in nice around the root, but not over tight, because we're now going to just get some water that down into the ground, so there will be no voids around there, and that's just going to add very, very nicely to the effect of this part of the garden. Well, just while we're in this little part of the garden, I thought I'd show you the base that I've put in here. Just some builder's sand at the bottom of the hole for the header tank. So that's ready to take the tank, and then I'm just going to fill in around the side with some soft material to give it some support. And the next thing I'll be doing then is getting the pipe work all laid to feed the water into this part of the area. So everything's moving on in a nice direction. Well, lastly, for this little area, I've now got the wall in place. I can't mortar that wall into position yet because I haven't put the water supply in. So as soon as I've got the water supply run, I can then mortar that wall just over the top of the tank. You can just see the wire meshing. There's a couple of old shells out of refrigerators, and that is protecting the top of the tank. And on top of that, I'll just lay some artificial grass. So generally it's going to be hopefully a nice little feature. As I say, we will be growing some alpines and some succulents onto the wall just to give it some character. So there's a lot still to do, but a lot less than when we started. Well, that brings me to the end of episode 21 on a lovely sunny day. Must be 33, 34 degrees, but I'm keeping in the pool and in the shade to keep myself feeling better. We've done a lot on today's show. We've taken down the overhanging branches over the courtyard garden. I've got the bridge installed over the stream and done planting along the stream banks as well. And all in all, I'm very, very pleased with the way the garden is going, and I'm hoping in 5 or 6 weeks time there is going to be no more construction hard work to do, just keeping on top of the planting going forward. So fingers crossed with that. I'd like to thank you very much for your company today, and as I say, 21 episodes in. Didn't think when we set out on this journey back in January that we were going to have quite the year that we've experienced with all of the COVID and bits and pieces, but generally been very, very fortunate. And with that in mind, I'm just going to leave you today with a small glass of Cabernet Shiraz. So stay well, stay safe, stay healthy. Cheers, see you next time.